We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Arizona. Thank you.
Donald Trump is a name that evokes strong opinions, and while many praise his economic bold policies, others believe those very policies could lead to serious long-term damage. If you've seen my previous video on why Trump could be the best president, economically speaking, today I will give you the other side of the coin. Hello, my name is Enrique Alcaraz Roma, I am an economist graduated in the University of La Sorbonne, and today we'll explore the 8 reasons why Trump's economic approach could make him the worst US president in history. Each point will delve into the risks and potential pitfalls of his strategies. So let's get started. The first reason I believe Trump could go down as the worst president in history is his aggressive use of tariffs. While the goal of a universal 10% tariff on imports is to protect American jobs, it risks driving up costs for businesses and consumers. Higher prices on imported goods means everyday essentials, from electronics to clothing, could become more expensive. This would disproportionately impact lower-income families who already spend a larger portion of their income on necessities. History has shown that tariffs often lead to retaliation. For example, during Trump's first term, China responded by imposing tariffs on American agricultural products, causing US farmers to lose billions and billions of dollars in export revenue. While the government provided subsidies to offset these losses, it is a short-term fix that doesn't address the underlying issue. From an economic perspective, tariffs go against the principle of comparative advantage, a concept that suggests that countries should specialize in producing the goods where they have an efficiency edge and trade for the others. By disrupting global trade flows, tariffs hinder this efficiency, leading to higher costs and lower productivity worldwide. If you are interested in understanding comparative advantage in more depth, I covered it in one of my previous videos. It's a critical economic theory that highlights why protectionist policies like this can do more harm than good in the long run. Ultimately, these tariffs could weaken America's position in global trade and make essential goods less affordable for everyone. The second reason I think Trump's presidency could be disastrous is his tax policy. While his 2017 tax cuts reduced taxes for the middle class, the wealthiest Americans and corporations saw the biggest benefits. Critics argue that this contributed to widening the income inequality, a trend that could destabilize the economy over time. Lower corporate taxes didn't always translate into higher wages or new jobs. Many companies use the extra cash for stock buybacks, which benefits shareholders rather than workers. The short-term boost to the stock market could mask deeper structural issues in the economy. But it also opens new opportunities for us to invest. In this channel, I will show you what to do or what would I do to invest depending on the risk that you are. So if you like more risk or less risk, I will do this completely for free. So if you're interested in knowing how can you benefit from Trump's presidency, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. The third reason why I believe that Trump could be remembered as the worst president is his aggressive rollback of environmental regulations. While reducing red tape can help businesses in the short term, ignoring environmental concerns could lead to long-term damage. Climate change-related disasters like hurricanes, floods, and wildfires cost the US billions every year in damages, lost productivity, and disruptions to the supply chains. For example, the 2017 hurricane season alone cost over $200 billion in economic losses, much of it tied to inadequate climate preparedness. These disasters don't just hurt the environment, they impact the infrastructure, agriculture, and even global trade routes. By prioritizing immediate gains over sustainability, Trump's policies could leave future generations to lead with the economic fallout of a changing climate. This approach also risks placing the US behind other countries that are investing in green technology and renewable energy. For example, nations like China and Germany are reaping the economic benefits of leading the renewable energy race, while the US risks falling behind. If you're curious about how environmental policies can also create economic opportunities, I will cover this in another video in my channel. The fourth reason Trump might go down as the worst president is his failure to deliver on infrastructure promises. Despite frequent claims of a massive infrastructure plan, little was accomplished during his first term. Roads, bridges, and public transit systems across the US continued to deteriorate, costing businesses and individuals billions in delays and repairs. Investing in infrastructure is a proven way to boost the economy, create jobs, and increase productivity. Trump frequently spoke about the massive infrastructure plan, but little progress was made during his first term. By neglecting this crucial area, Trump missed an opportunity to strengthen America's long-term economic foundation. The fifth reason I think that Trump could be the worst president is his singular focus on fossil fuels. While energy independence is important, doubling down on oil, gas, and coal risks leaving the US behind as the global economy transitions into renewable energy. As I said, countries like China and Germany are investing heavily in solar, wind, and electric vehicles, positioning themselves as leaders in these growing industries. Let's look at the bigger picture. Renewable energy isn't just about protecting the environment. It is also a massive economic opportunity. Globally, the renewable energy market is expected to exceed $1.5 trillion by 2030, driven by growing demand for solar panels, wind turbines, and electric vehicles. By ignoring this trend, the US risks on missing out on creating millions of high-paying jobs in this future-focused sector. In addition, other countries' advancements in green energy could shift global trade dynamics. Nations leading in renewable energy technology could dominate exports in these industries, much like how the OPEC countries historically controlled oil markets. If the US fails to compete, it might find itself reliant on foreign innovators, weakening its global influence and economic stability. The sixth reason why Trump could be remembered as the worst president is his impact on national debt. Despite campaigning as a fiscal conservative, the federal deficit ballooned during his first term, reaching nearly $3 trillion in 2020. Tax cuts, military spending, and pandemic-related relief all played a role, but critics argue that there was little effort to create a clear plan to balance the books or reduce the spending in other areas. Higher debt levels don't just sit on the government's books, they have real-world consequences. Increased borrowing costs could mean higher interest rates for families looking to buy homes or businesses looking to expand. It also leaves less flexibility for future administrations to respond to crises, whether it's a recession or an unexpected global event, as it was COVID in its day. Japan, for example, a country with one of the highest debt-to-GDP ratios in the world. While they've managed to maintain economic stability, their growth has been slower, to not say that they didn't have much growth, and their ability to respond to crises limited. The US could face a similar path if debt continues to rise unchecked. But this doesn't only limit to the Trump administration. Biden administration also had a lot of debt. And it's quite a big problem in the US right now. The seventh reason Trump's presidency might be considered as disastrous is his approach to foreign policy. His America First strategy often alienated long-standing allies, undermining international trade relationships and weakening the US's ability to work cooperatively on global issues. For instance, imposing tariffs on European goods created significant tension with the European Union, making it harder to negotiate on other key issues such as climate policies, technology regulations, and military. Additionally, withdrawing from key agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership limited America's influence in Asia, allowing countries like China to step into the leadership vacuum. This shift not only reduced US leverage in one of the most dynamic economic regions, but also affected American businesses that could have benefited from increased trade access. In a globalized economy, collaboration is essential for addressing challenges like supply chain disruptions, pandemics, and climate change. Without the strong alliances, the US risks falling behind in global decision-making, leaving it more vulnerable to economic and geopolitical shifts. Trump's isolationist policies, while appealing to some voters, could end up sidening the US on the world stage and diminishing its ability to shape global economic policies in its favor. The eighth reason why Trump could be the worst president is his lack of focus on reducing income inequality. While the stock market thrived during his presidency, many working-class Americans struggle with stagnant wages and rising costs for essentials like healthcare and housing. For example, while the S&P 500 reached record highs, studies show that the median income for American households barely kept up with inflation, leaving many families feeling left behind. This growing divide between the wealthy and the middle class poses a long-term threat to economic stability. When a significant portion of the population feels economically marginalized, this can lead to reduced consumer spending, a key driver of the economy, and also into an increased reliance on the government support programs. In this case, this would lead to more debt. Over time, this dynamic could weaken the overall economic structure and increase the risk of recession. Economic policies that disproportionately benefit the rich can also erode trust in institutions, as people feel that the system is unfairly stacked against them. This lack of trust can fuel social unrest, as we've seen in movements advocating for higher wages and wealth redistribution. Additionally, an unequal economy is less resilient to shocks. During the downtowns, the middle class lacks the savings to sustain demand, making recovery slower and more difficult. So there you have it, 8 reasons why Donald Trump's economic policies could make him the worst president in US history. From tariffs and tax cuts to debt and global isolation, these issues highlight the risks of prioritizing short-term gains over long-term stability. But what do you think? Do these criticisms outweigh his achievements, or are they overblown? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you haven't already, make sure to watch my other video where I explain why Trump could actually be the best US president, economically speaking. Together, these 2 videos can give you the full picture of what Trump is proposing, economically speaking, for this second term. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.